Thanks for joining us today on the What Podcast, helping you to support local, use local and buy local. Letting you know what's happening, what's on and what's on offer in the local area. The What Podcast.
Welcome to the What Podcast. My name is Liam Stone and the What Podcast is brought to you by whatoffers.co.uk, the local podcasting platform dedicated to supporting local businesses wherever you are. So support local, use local, buy local. Today's show is sponsored by Carlucci's Restaurant, the oldest Italian restaurant in Dunfermline. Find them on the High Street, where you can find great authentic Italian food, order on their app and save up to 50% off your first order. And you can also go in for your lunches as well and save up to 20% off their lunchtime menus. So thank you to Carlucci's for being a sponsor of the What Podcast. If you would like to be a sponsor of the What Podcast, then get in touch. You can email me directly at liam@whatoffers.co.uk, or you can get in touch through the website. Now, on today's show, we're going to be having a chat with Rhys from R&B Hair and Beauty. Rhys is coming in to have a wee chat about his business and what he's doing, and you can obviously see that full interview coming up just now. Rhys, obviously for R&B Hair and Beauty.
Yeah,
I was glad you come in. I know you were supposed to come in last week.
I know.
And you had a bit of an incident with your car.
Yes, unfortunately. So I'm still waiting on a part for it now. Just a minor hit and run, but we'll get over it.
Hit and run.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it, but it wasn't like that when I left it at the shops.
And nobody left a note then?
Nah, unfortunately not.
Bummer,
so tell me about it.
Aye, it's a sad one, unfortunately.
I know.
As long as you're alright and the car's going to get fixed, that's the main thing, I suppose.
That is the main thing. I wasn't there to witness it or be in it, so that's always a bonus, I guess.
Aye. It's just a shame nobody else witnessed it for you.
Well, I know.
So we obviously invited you along as the owner of R&B Hair and Beauty.
Yeah.
You've been on our platform now since November 21, and obviously you have effectively been running a successful local business.
Trying my hardest.
I like to think successful, hopefully.
Yeah.
Busy just now?
I mean, you know what, it's getting there just now, but so we've recently had our head stylist go maternity leave, which has been a little bit of a hit, because she pretty much, she was the best, she was our manager as well.
Right.
She pretty much ran the whole shop on her Todd, basically. We have had a couple other members of staff in the house, so we've got a makeup artist just in the now, Caitlin.
Right.
She's holding her own. We've got two other girls looking to join us as well, getting trained up at the moment. So it's still holding its own, still good, still pretty busy.
That maternity leave's a killer, isn't it?
But I know, tell me about it. You know what, she left at a pinnacle point. She would even say this herself if she was here, but she left at the point where it was just getting extremely busy. So almost the highlight of her career. And then she got pregnant, and then she's obsessed with the child now anyway. So I'm happy for her. But she, I was saying to her, I was like, I thought she would kind of come back almost after having the baby, because I know what she's like. But now she just kind of sits up and just stares at her kid and that.
It's amazing how that changes, isn't it?
I know, apparently it's rewired her whole brain. So, but I look forward to the moment she does come back, obviously, because having her there, she's ran the shop pretty much since opening day as well for us. She's like me and my
she's
friend.
Obviously a part of the foundation. She's part of the fabric. You know what I mean?
That's it. It's one of the if one of the legs are broke, you know what I mean. It doesn't quite work properly. But yeah, it'd be good to get her back soon.
So I can imagine you're going to be a bit hands-on more now as well, are you?
I'm up as much as I can do. Kind of giving the place clean and just popping in, making sure everything's run all right. But our makeup artist in the back now, she's in pretty much not far off 7 days a week. So she kind of does the bits and bobs if I'm not kicking about.
So at least you've got the customers to demand that then.
Well, I mean, that's it. She's dead busy. She's always booked out. She does lashes, eyebrows, lash extensions, makeup and stuff as well, for, full face for weddings and stuff like that. So she's pretty busy. It's kind of unique type of tailor. I know loads of folk do it, but I don't know how she's that busy. But I mean, I ain't complaining either, so I'm happy for her.
I bet. I mean, normally, obviously,
you know, we you know, we'll talk about your business in depth and things like that as well. But I mean, in terms of R&B Hair and Beauty, when was it you started? Was it?
So we opened it June, 3rd of June. This was last year. So
okay.
Just pretty much during almost the COVID fiasco.
So just over a year.
Just
in
over a year.
business then.
We actually just had our first first year celebration on, I think it was the 4th of June, just because it fell on an easier day for us. But
Okay.
we had like a balloon arch and stuff. We had another local business actually, Pico Balloons from Dunfermline,
Right,
sort us out with
them.
a big balloon arch and coming in and done all our stuff for us and made like a custom wee big giant one with our name and stuff on it. Got a couple of bottles of Prosecco and just kind of had like an open day. Just have people come in, even just for a kick around or just come in and ask questions or stuff or pick up some flyers or whatever. Had that, so that went particularly well.
It's impressive that you are as busy as you are, because you know a lot of businesses that we speak to, you know, they more often than not, a business like yours in hair and beauty, they're often in a sort of busier area. You know, they're in a high street or off the high street or in town somewhere. You're based just outside the industrial estate. You know,
out in the sticks,
and that's what almost it feels like. And you're, because you're right on the, you're just, is it? There's a
pretty much at the verge of the industrial estate. So like it's us, and then that.
So it's not like an easy place for people to park, or you know, for to get. It's not like you get loads of people walking past or anything like that, is it?
Nah, not really any traffic at all, unless people are going into the industrial estate. But then it's like you could almost miss it.
Well, I've been past it so many times, and I've actually noticed it before, because it's a dark grey building, isn't it?
Yeah, and
it's quite small, so
at night time it's really nice.
You wouldn't even see it if you didn't know it was there, sort of thing. I didn't even realise there was any shop there, literally.
Exactly.
You know, I just thought it was a wall. Yeah,
that's it. Like I wanted to. We've got a really nice neon sign that's got like our R&B hair on it, like a logo almost. But my girlfriend kind of advised we didn't have it on, because it's like it looks enticing for the shop. To like pan the windows or whatever, so you don't really notice it. But at night time, it lights up the whole sign at night, so you'll notice it at night time. But I mean, that's when it's closed. So
well, that's it. And not many people are going to industrial estate at night time.
Well, that's it.
Maybe as the winter months get coming in and it starts getting darker earlier, you can put it on a bit earlier. But I mean, that must have been a challenge for you since starting up.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been difficult to kind of get any business started off the ground in general. Like I know it's like a lot of thing that, I mean, there's loads of people out there with different skill sets that could open a business but are too scared to make the leap. That's like, so I've got a partner in the business as well, the brother of our manager as well, Ben. He's kind of driven in the sense of like, well, let's just kind of do it, and so am I. So it was a bit of a risk, but kind of finding ways to market yourself or get places to make flyers or get, I don't know, some kids to go and leafleting for you or whatever, you know, just loads of small things, and try and do everything as local as possible, because we're not like, I mean, we're not particularly a massive place, so we're not trying to branch out and hit like, oh, I want everyone in Edinburgh to know about it, because you know, I mean, there's plenty of things in Edinburgh they could just nip along the road and get done. So
well, that's it. And there's enough people here. You know, there's enough people in Dunfermline that can sustain the small businesses that we have in Dunfermline.
That's it.
You know, I mean, I know there is quite a lot of different hair salons and beauty salons and things like that.
Hundreds.
But they're always busy. You know, so people in Dunfermline definitely like getting a haircut.
Well, apparently so. If you could count the amount of barbers and hair salons in Dunfermline High Street alone, like, you're talking upwards of 20.
What day of the week is it that you shut?
So it's Mondays normally. So
why is it everybody shuts on a Monday in hairdressing?
I don't know. I don't particularly know why. And to be honest with you, I think it's because the Saturdays are usually the busiest day for for the girls. So they want to get some sort of weekend at some point. So if they go out Saturday night, they'll be rough Sunday, Monday, or whatever. That's what I've always assumed. Like, but it's because obviously they don't like, normally most folk will do Monday, Friday, but they're pretty much like Tuesday to Saturday, so it's just like their longer weekend, I guess.
It's just, man, I've noticed that in many places it's always like a random midday during the week. But it's like every hairdresser takes the same day.
I know.
It's like and then sometimes I've noticed when like my kids or whatever need to get a haircut, I think, right, okay, I'm alright, I don't need a haircut, you know what I mean? But whenever they want to get the haircut, I think, right, okay, I'll try and take them along. I'll finish early sometimes on a Monday, I'll try and take them along, you know what I mean? You phone every hairdresser's, nah, shut. I'm like,
at one point, right, I swear, because we did notice that as well, right, and it wasn't because, like, I was never in a particularly massive hair kind of background or a beauty background or anything, so I didn't really know, like, the opening time, so to speak. So, like, eventually after, like, having it for a wee while, and we did notice that, like, there was a gap in the market almost. Like, every salon, like, or beautician ever is closing on Monday. Like, why is that? Unless they're working from home or whatever. So there was a brief period for about a couple of months where we were open on a Monday. But it's almost like it didn't cotton on because they just assumed that it's still closed on Monday. So
they just
I mean, it worked a little bit.
Shut.
We got a few people in from it, but it's until, like, they're well aware, obviously, if you've been open that long or just over a year and then you change your opening days out of the blue, and then especially on a day where everybody already naturally assumes that it's closed, didn't really make much of a difference, so we just changed it back again.
I suppose it makes sense. If everybody's used to it, then obviously it's trying to get that exposure where everybody suddenly realises, as you say, so they just assume that.
And it's difficult. I mean, like, the only kind of platform we have, apart from obviously this as well, would be like just our Facebook kind of social media or website. Not many folk do the website because Facebook's so accessible. So we've only got, I don't know, just under 2,000 or something people likes on Facebook at the moment. But then not everybody pays attention to it if you put something on it.
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, it's one thing one of my pet hates is Facebook, and we use it ourselves clearly because obviously there's a need. But the reality is that trying to just get people to see what you post is nigh on impossible especially if you've no got a massive following or you're willing to pay hundreds of pounds for an advert. You know, I mean, we've run ad campaigns, and you can spend hundreds of pounds and you still didn't get a big reach. And even the people that are following your page or anything like that, you can post and they'll still not see it.
Because it's in the midst of their 3,000 friends on Facebook or something, you know what I mean? So it's kind of blended in.
Well, it's Facebook algorithms as well are kind of designed that just because you follow a page doesn't mean you're going to see it. I don't know how they work it.
There is some folk, there's an option for it, like if you're really keen about something specifically, you can like the page, but you can also follow the page, which means like it is kind of brought immediately in your timeline. So like there is that, and like not everybody does it. We do have quite a majority of that as well, but then again, it's still, if they're following a number of other things as well, it still kind of falls under the same category of getting blended in amongst the rest of it. So.
It's hard getting the word out there because there's so many small businesses. I don't know if you know how many small businesses there are in a local area.
I don't, but I would like to be like
I was working it out, and we made some calculations and estimations before, and then I started to have a look into some stats. According to Royal Mail, there's a little over 2,000 small businesses in Dunfermline.
Really?
That's with a registered business address. So then you've obviously got all your other businesses, which is your people that
side hustles,
just working at home, one-man band as we call them. It could be your local gas engineer or your joiner or something like that. I mean, I've got neighbours who they provide gardening services, you know, and they've got the vans and everything else, but it's a home address. They didn't have a building or an office. So you've got all the businesses as well. So it's hard to put an exact number on it, but we're guesstimating it's going to be at least 2,500 to 3,000. We know it's definitely about 2,000. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, if you ask any local person how many local businesses do you know of, you could probably name half a dozen. But then you'd start to have to really think, and then beyond that, there's no way you could even come up with 100 names. I bet.
No. I mean, I would have guessed 100, right? I would have guessed in the hundreds, not the thousands, but I would have maybe be able to have missed like 20 or something.
Well, that's it. That's it. And that's why, obviously, we started our campaign to support local businesses and just get people to think about it. And that's why we're trying to get every local business on our platform, is because we don't have big businesses on the platform. So if you are wanting to know the local businesses that exist, then we want to have a place that you can find them. You know, whatever that is you're looking for, you can find the businesses. But you know, because most people don't use local businesses, not because they don't like them or anything else, it's just because they don't know they exist.
That's it.
And that's the problem that you've had, based on where you are, is just making sure that people get to know that you are there.
Word of mouth probably the strongest kind of bit of marketing you can have, other than that. But trying to get yourself on platforms and stuff, it's difficult to get people to come across it.
Getting that exposure, it's hard, and obviously trying to, a lot of marketing activities costs, they cost a fortune.
For sure.
It's just too expensive. So, going back to what you were saying, you obviously opened up R&B Hair and Beauty, but no fair hair and beauty background yourself. So why a hair and beauty salon then?
I know. You know what? It's a weird one. So basically, the guy that I was going into business with, Ben. So his sister is our manager.
Yeah.
And me and him weren't particularly close, and it's a bit of a sad one, to be fair. But like, one of my best mates went to high school with Lou.
Right.
He ended up dying 2 Mays ago. He was kind of roughly my age, like a year younger than me. So that kind of brought me and him, like his big brother, really close.
Yeah.
And his sister, obviously Megan, is like a hairdresser anyway.
Yeah.
Me and Ben just sat, like, we used to spend quite a lot of time together, and we used to just like spitball ideas. And like, he's one of the type of people that just like thinks about anything to like make money some way. He's just like, very like business idea driven. Can like sit in the bath thinking about crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So we just sat and had a chat, and then we kind of come to the conclusion, you know what, we'll open up a salon. And we kind of made Megan the manager for a bit of support. Obviously, she ended up leaving the place that she was working at, and it's more or less just like a small kind of family run thing now, just out of an idea. It was a weird one. Like,
that's good.
Megan's got she used to like bump high school to do hair. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, she was like 14, like if not younger, like leaving school to go and do like a set.
She's obviously talented then.
Yeah, so she's been doing it for a while. And Ben used to, back in England when he was younger, he used to be like an apprentice as well in a salon. So he knows how to do bits and bobs. But myself, I'm just so far from it. Not so much now, to be fair. I'd say I'm pretty adverse in it now, but obviously you've got to be in it. But yeah, it's a strange one, the reason like why we got into it. But I mean, it's a good cause, I guess, and everyone was kind of happy for it, and it seemed to have worked. So that's the main thing.
Well, it's good it's worked. I mean, it's obviously not just hair that you do as well. You've obviously got other products and services that you provide.
Yep.
You've obviously got the hair, you've got the beauty side of it. But unlike a lot of businesses, it's not just for the women. You do a lot of men and stuff as well, don't you?
Yeah, so we've got we've got an aesthetics practitioner in as well. So like, you know, lip fillers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That if guys want that done, that's fine. We can do guys highlights and stuff as well, and we do obviously guys like eyebrows or waxing.
Do you get a lot of guys coming in for that stuff?
We do, but they don't like to admit it. You know, like some guys, like I get my eyebrows done and stuff as that as well. But like some guys, most kind of nowadays folk kind of are going towards that direction. Yeah. But you do get the odd guy who just like definitely gets them done, but just like doesn't want his mates to know about it. So it's sometimes it's few and far between, but we always do have kind of the service there if need be.
I have been into a couple of places in the past where my wife's friend has a sort of beauty salon, and we went in there once and she offered to do a facial for me, so sat there with the whole mask on and stuff like that, you know. And I remember going back in another time and I was like, I'll get that done again. She was like, no, I can't. I'm like, why not? She says, you've not had a shave, you know. She says,
but still messing up.
She says, that's not going to work, you know. But it was nice, you know what I mean? You sit there, get the mask on, fall asleep, you know.
It's relaxing stuff like that, like, it is.
I know, it's good. So obviously you've had a bit of success with the business, things are going well for you. It's good to see a local business like yourself, you're taking that success and you're obviously sharing it, because I notice you do a few sponsorships. It's Wee Jamie, you're sponsoring him. So what is it that's about?
So basically Wee Jamie, he's got a kind of uncurable condition at the moment, and they're needing kind of funding to like put towards the cause, basically.
Right.
And I know, like, so I do bouncing as well in Lorenzo's. They had a big kind of sponsorship for him, but they're having to like bring up their own kind of money. So I was on Twitter one day, and my friend Catherine, who used to actually work in our salon, kind of reached out to us and tagged me in the post from Jamie's dad, Bigger Jamie, put up a post about doing the 3 peaks. So they're like the 3 big mountains kicking about here, and was looking for local businesses to sponsor it. So like straight away I was like, yeah, for sure. Obviously it's a great cause, it's a local thing. Just a wee kid, I was told it's an absolute sin. So sponsored them. They went down. I think they got another sponsorship as well, but I'm not sure from who. And they went down, done the 3 peaks. I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And done all that. I don't know how much they raised, to be honest, but. I also shared it on my like social media platform with the salon, try to get folk to kind of donate as much as they can.
I did see it. That's where I kind of seen that there. So, but it's obviously a good cause, and it's obviously helping somebody that needs it, you know. And obviously you're sharing your success with people that obviously need support as well, and that's one of the things that's obviously the benefit of supporting local businesses, is because you often find that with a lot of local businesses, if they are getting the support and they're thriving, then they tend to also support their community as well.
Yeah, well, it's the community that supports people in the community support your business.
Aye.
So in turn, you should support the community.
Exactly.
I think, you know what I mean?
And that's what a lot of local businesses do.
Yeah.
No all of them do it, and no all of them can afford to do it. But for the ones that are able to do it, you know, a lot of them do, and it's good to see that. You know, it's not just obviously we Jamie. You also support you're a sponsor of the local girls football team as well.
The Bayside girls football team down in Dalgate Bay. They're based. We've sponsored them. A wee while now, like maybe 6 months or so. But yeah, we bought them all, kitted them all out with strips, and with their home kits and their away kits. Looks really nice, to be fair, like, and as well, like, because obviously we're here in beauty thing, like they've got guys teams and female teams and that as well, but we thought it'd be better for us to sponsor just like a wee girls team, you know. So like
there's a lot more girls coming into football now as well.
And we've got them. So like if they bring along like their mum or whatever as well, like anybody that's associated with Bayside as well gets a discount personally from us.
Right.
So like we're not only kind of sponsoring them, but also helping them out, or like saving a bit of money if like I don't know, one of the mums need to get their hair done or something. Like, and then notices the wee girls kit, they can come along and mention Bayside and they get like 10% or 15% off anything that we do.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Just hopefully nobody else. No, everybody's going to be coming along and mentioning Bayside.
well, that's it. You know what I mean? It's kind of.
You just told it to the world.
It's kind of like those little pots that's like take a penny, leave a penny. It's more like based on trust. Because there's no way of us going like, okay, so you mentioned Bayside.
What's your girl's name?
Is she in the team? When did she start? You know what I mean? Have you got a picture of the kit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's more or less just a trust thing.
It's good because obviously, you know, it's. I mean, I talked about it on the podcast last week, which was, you know, moaning about the cost of living nowadays between gas and electric and everything else. And, you know, I've seen or heard a lot of people talking about people spending. And a lot of small businesses, they maybe think that a lot of people are changing their spending patterns because they can't afford to have the luxuries. You know, whether that be, you know, getting beauty stuff done or whatever, but I disagree with it because I've been out and about, and you know, I went over to St James Quarter the other week there, and there's queues outside the Lego shop. People going in to spend hundreds of pounds on plastic.
That's like the most expensive shop in there as well.
I know, and you know, every restaurant you pass by is just chockers, you know what I mean? And Dunfermline is a lot similar as well. You know, there's a lot of people are spending money on things that are still non-essential. So I don't think that they are. I think they're just planning on bumping the gas and electric, maybe. Well, I don't know.
You never know. It depends how folk prioritise their bills, really, innit? You know, some people could spend their last penny on a designer t-shirt to look really good and struggle day to day, or some people could not buy that t-shirt and make sure they can have food in the cupboard for a week. Everybody's different.
That's it. It's hard to see what anybody's like. But this is the thing that obviously they've been talking about lately is the what is it? I can't remember what they called it now, but it's this big protest thing, getting everybody to cancel their utility bills.
Yeah, it's like the blackout thing. If everybody cancels direct debits before, was it the October the next influx is? Something like that. It's meant to like affect the grid, and they're meant to lose like X amount of money or whatever. So because what I've seen, it was like the BP or Shell, one of that had the world like the biggest turnover they've had in like 10 years or something.
I talked about this. It was 6.9 billion. They said was. Now I'm not sure about this because I done a bit of Google on this, and I seen figures of 11 point odd billion. The 6.9 billion was the shareholders' profits.
Right.
So there was even more profit on top of that the company kept for itself. So I don't know what the actual real figure is, but it's ridiculous because that gas and electric, I don't know what you think, but as far as I'm concerned, that gas and electric didn't cost any more money to produce.
No.
They didn't have any more staff to pay.
No.
They just decided that because they can, and they can justify there's a higher demand for gas and there's the same demand as there always was. It's just that obviously with everything that's happened with Russia and things like that, they can then dictate the prices.
If anything, you think it's like backwards from everything, like because of what's going on in Russia and stuff. You think we maybe need to like support everywhere else slightly more, rather because obviously like the price of petrol and stuff's gone up due to that. But like just because I mean some electricity obviously can be funded by stuff like that, but I don't know. I think they've bumped up the prices too far.
See, what I didn't get is that in Scotland, the Scottish government has talked about this, and I don't know the exact number, but it says something like 99.3% or something like that of Scotland's energy is now all produced from renewable energies. So we're making this stuff for nothing.
I mean,
and now we're
Scotland is
paying
particularly
more
good
than
for
we've
it.
ever paid for it before.
I know.
Where does that go wrong?
I have no idea. I wish I knew. I've got a friend that works in renewable energy, so maybe best pick his brain about it, but I don't get it.
It's nuts, because if we're making all this stuff for free, then I don't get why we're paying so much for it. You know what I mean?
The whole point of it, I guess, is to kind of dish it out for free if you're getting it for free. But someone's always got to be trying to make cash in somewhere, don't it?
Aye, well, unfortunately, there's no us. It's somebody at the top of these big companies that's making all the money.
That's it.
Unfortunately. So obviously, going back to yourself, I know you obviously support the youths. You're obviously supporting me, Jamie. You obviously support Andy's Man Club as well.
Yeah.
You do a bit there.
Yeah.
I didn't know they actually had a place in them. Did they have a place
So
in
they have a
Dunfermline?
place in Dunfermline, yeah. They've got places all over the camp.
I know
honestly.
they've got a lot of places, but I actually looked for somebody else before, but I didn't see Dunfermline on the list.
There is Dunfermline. They've got a couple of different meeting points, changes now and again, but they do kind of put posts up and like let you know where the meeting point is. And loads of guys turn up. They now obviously like what's going on. I know loads of folk personally, and I hear about things on the grapevine and that as well. Like guy suicides is through the roof now.
Aye, a lot of people just didn't talk about it.
No, I know, and they should, and that's another thing. Like I've lost maybe 3 or 4 people now to it in the last couple of years. I'm only 25. You know what I mean? That's mental. It shouldn't be the case of that. So,
no, it shouldn't. I've had people here that and people in the past that have worked for me that I've kind of put on to Andy's Man's Club as well, because you know, they've had issues, they've been having their struggles and things like that, and you know, just having somebody to talk to and listen to.
Well,
but
that's half the reason it happens, though, I think, is because guys don't know they can reach out almost. So
well,
they just build it up in
I
their
think
head.
it's hard to reach it, because I think there's obviously that stigma as well, that you're a guy, you're just expected to deal with it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, grow up here and get on with it sort of thing. But that's no, you know, it's easy enough to say that, but it's hard. You know what I mean? And you know, we have, you know, we have things going in their head that sometimes we just need a bit of help with. Sometimes, you know what I mean?
Knowing the support there's half the battle, though, you know. So turning up, I mean, I imagine it would be daunting. But it's definitely going to help you more rather than sit in the house.
Well, I think knowing that you're going to be going along with other people that are in a similar situation that just want somebody to talk to, and you're going to be there with people that are receptive to be able to talk to you and listen to you and help you and stuff like that.
You know.
That's it. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, I could imagine, you know, when I was 20-year-old, you know, in some of the workplaces I worked in, if I turned around and said to one of my workmates, I'm struggling with mental health or, you know, whatever, they'd be like,
you, man.
That's it. I mean, I would have been ridiculed for
Sit
months.
in a car garage, get bullied, man, try to find a left-handed screwdriver so I can get sent
that's it. You know what I mean? It's, you just would have been roasted for it, left, right and centre, you know, whereas nowadays, you know, we all understand that obviously, you know, everybody has these challenges, whether you're man, woman or child, you know what I mean? And you know, it's I think we all, you know, have to take away that stigma and just allow people to, you know, we've done that with so many other causes. We were trying to take away stigmas, you know what I mean? And so mental health, I know it's something that's been on the sort of agenda with the government, the National Health Service and stuff for a long time, but there's just no enough structure there, I think, just now to really make a difference. And that's why obviously we rely on these individual places and charities like Andy's Man's Club and things like that, you know, to try and help bridge that gap and make the difference sort of thing. Definitely. So it's good to see obviously you supporting stuff like that, and clearly you're passionate about, you know, supporting youth in the community and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully other local businesses would jump along and do similar things as well. But I mean, you know, for your perspective, and as obviously, you know, we've talked about your business being quite successful, and you know, obviously you're having challenges at the minute with obviously your head stylist being in maternity leave and you know all this sort of stuff. But what would you say, and since you started your business, which was obviously been just over a year now, what would you say your biggest challenge has probably been?
To be honest with you, there's been a couple. Don't get me wrong, there's been a few. There has been a few. So originally, like, just kind of learning about business to start with. Like, so, I mean, I'm not exactly uneducated, but I'm not like, I've never done business management or anything like that, you know what I mean? So it's not really something that most folk think if you're going to have to open a business, you're going to have to go to university and do some sort of 5-year degree on business management before you can consider it. Not the case. So just learning the small fundamentals of, like, even just registering your business. So kind of, but getting a building and kind of making sure it's like the right level of building. You know, you can get different types of buildings for, like, if you do food or if you're like a trading or stuff like that. You know, like learning all these small things was kind of challenging to start with, because it's daunting when you've no kind of background or no really support there. You just kind of jump in head first. So getting it started off the ground was hard, and me and Ben ripped the place out with our bare hands, fitted all the place, painted the place, try and like save as much money as possible. Managed to get up pretty good, to be fair, like, for just us to kicking about. But that was a challenge in itself. And then, I mean, getting consistent staff is always hard. Especially the fact that it's not like, we're not a giant salon. Like, I know there's a lot of huge, like almost kind of multi, I don't know the word for it, but there's a couple in one industry. I know like Lime's got Dunfermline, they've got one in Falkirk, and they've got someone else. So we're not particularly good.
They're quite big, Lime, aren't they?
Yeah, massively. So like, we've not got kind of like in-house trainers that are like linked to colleges or anything like that. You know, like you can do your placement through anything like that. So we kind of just take on staff and train them up in-house to just ourselves, and like getting the staff to stay consistently and kind of put the hard work in as well. It's like, as people say, you can't find the staff half the time, eh? So once you do, though, I mean, like our head stylist, like Megan's been an absolute diamond from the start, and Caitlin's doing really, really good now as well. So it's just like finding kind of the staff there, but also it's difficult to kind of get the application or the job offer out there as well. You know, like to make folk aware that there is a job there.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I talked about this once recently as well, and partly the reason why we developed a recruitment section on our platform for local companies to advertise local jobs. But the reality is we actually tried doing some recruitment ourselves before we started this. Using one of the, well, I'll just say the major UK's #1 platforms, as people would describe it. And I put a job ad up, and it wasn't for, it wasn't any ambiguous job ad or anything like that. It was for IT professional. It was a decent sort of job offering, decent wage, decent conditions, everything else. And I had 6 applications, and not a single application came for anybody in the UK.
Why? Did they not just put on like a cap for that or something?
Well, it's all worldwide, so people are accessing it from anywhere in the world. So I was having job applications for people in Indonesia, for India, for Pakistan, and they were all like, "Oh, I can do that work for you if you relocate me," and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, "Well, I'm a small local business. What I mean, that's no the route I'm going to be going down anytime soon. I need somebody local that can do this
hold
work.
on till I buy you a flat and you can come over and
and unless you're going to spend a lot of money promoting these jobs, and it's expensive to recruit at the minute, and that's why we decided we would start the recruitment side, just to try and make it a bit easier, a bit cheaper, and a bit simpler, really. Put a job up on the platform, local people can see it, apply, and that's it. And because local people are only seeing what's local to them, then if somebody sees your job, it's somebody who is local.
That's half the battle as well.
So that's the first step. What I mean? It's just a case of, right, okay, you're local, now can you do the job, sort of thing.
Are you good enough?
But it gives you half a chance. You know what I mean? But recruitment's hard.
Yeah, for sure, it is hard. And like, I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had a number of folk in and out since we started, and I was told that before by someone I know that owns a salon. They're like, you'll never quite get your staff just like all the time. You'll see folk come in and go in, and be it for folk to leave for, I don't know, other job prospects or a change of lifestyle or whatever, totally fine. But which does happen. Obviously, not everybody kind of starts the career they think they're wanting to start and then finishes with that. Like, I've done loads of career shifts in my time, and I'm only 25, so not everybody's got it quite figured out. But it's difficult to get them in, and when you do get them in, you do get one that can like power on, then blessing in disguise. But like, we could always, like, I'm looking for 2 girls now. We've got a couple of applications in, but one of them was just fresh out of college just now, and obviously with our head stylist being off, she's not going to be particularly there for much support. So like, I'm kind of looking for someone now that's got like a serious background already, that doesn't need the support. I mean, like, when Megan comes back, then like, I'm happy to take like someone on and kind of train them up in house, but she can't turn to.
You've not got somebody to put them under a wing, so to speak.
I mean, exactly. If they're like unsure about something, then like, there's nobody to kind of ask advice for, and we don't want that. We don't want a girl to be starting a job and feeling uncomfortable. And
that would make her life probably quite difficult as well, as potentially. Your customer, what I'm in that position either.
I don't want to mess up the customer, I don't want to stress the staff out, and obviously don't want to put stress in the business if it's like a really bad job or something's done incorrectly. So we're still looking for folk, but it's definitely, recruitment is definitely a big challenge for sure.
Well, hopefully if somebody's watching this and knows how to cut hair, they can get in touch.
Feel free. Yeah, for sure.
So But if somebody was watching this now and they were thinking about starting up their own business, whether it be a hair salon or, I don't think Dunfermline really needs loads of more hair salons, but
no, if anything, it needs less.
but if somebody was thinking about starting up a business in general just now, what would you say would be the one bit of advice you would give to them that might help them?
The biggest advice I would give, to be fair, and it sounds probably dead cliche, would be just go for it. Like flat out go for it. Like I said, I had no background in this. I had no business management skills. I had nothing. I just had a little bit of cash set aside and an idea, and I just went for it. Yeah. And I mean, it pans out or it doesn't. But if you don't try it, at least, then you never know if it kicks off. You could be so good at something.
No, well, it's like they always say, you always regret the opportunities that you never take.
That's it. 100% the opportunities you don't take. It's for sure. Like my mate, do you know Wicked Cheesecakes as well? Like the cheesecake.
Aye.
So Jace, like I know him quite as a personal friend. He started making cheesecakes in his house. Yeah. And then in Dulwich, next thing you know, he's got like 3 businesses now. Yeah. And there's one in Crossford, one in Kirkcaldy, and then I think there's one in Inverkeven now. So like there you go. You know what I mean? There's a niche particularly good at making cheesecakes. Do it in the house for a bit, and then just jump in head first. Boom, there you go. Something successful. You know, like
that's it.
It happens.
It doesn't have to be any big fancy business. You know what I mean? No. It's if you're providing a local product or a local service that people want, then
that's it. If you've got a skill and you've got an idea and you're particularly good at it, just go for it.
That's literally all you need. So obviously, I know you hate to talk about R&B. Is there anything that we've not covered that you'd like to?
No, like not really. You know, like we're still kind of trooping on. We've still got staff in there. We're still open as much as we can be. So now I would say we've covered quite a lot. I mean, like touching on the recruitment thing, it would always be handy if someone is watching that is aptly skilled at it. I mean, feel free to hit me up.
Well, it'll be out there. We'll put some links on the post as well to your profile. Yeah. We can obviously get one of the guys to help put the job actually on your profile on our platform, so they can literally apply directly through the platform. So I can get one of the guys to set that up for you and go through that with you.
Thank you.
So obviously we've talked about R&B and we've talked about opening up, and you've mentioned a couple of other people that you know that have businesses and stuff like that. You know, we always want to support local businesses. You want to support the local community as well. Is there any other local businesses that you think in the area that you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, I don't know. I think I've named a couple for sure already.
Happy enough with them?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get a shot in the foot. There's a couple of folk that I know that have local bars as well that taking over. So Tappy Toories for one, Creepy Pub for one. There's 2 close personal friends of mine that took a jump out of nowhere to take a pub on. And change it up a little bit.
That's a big jump.
Well, I know, especially it was like the same time. You know what? I think me and Sarah, the girl that owns Tappy Toories, I think we opened up our businesses pretty much within the same week. So it was like she got a pub on, I took the salon on. But it was like obviously the tail end kind of just after the COVID thing, so it was a dead risky time to do anything. But it seems to be going well. She's made that from like an old Dunfermline type of pub to like a pre-club hot pink big giant lipstick on the wall, crazy looking thing. But like again, it's like, I mean, a pub's a bigger business, but again, it's local. It's a small local person just trying to make their own.
Well, this is the thing, and this is what really I talk about as well. We had one of our local businesses who was one of our sponsors. They're no local in Dunfermline, but they provide a local service in Dunfermline. They're actually based in sort of Clackmannanshire. But they provided I don't know if you've heard of them, a company called the Bottle Genies, but they provided a glass collection and recycling. So it was just a guy who decided to set up a recycling company, and he would go around every 4 weeks collecting glass bottles and jars for people, and he would provide them with a box, and he would go around with his van and pick them up, because obviously they didn't do that for the council anymore here. So he was doing that, and that's 3 years. And then literally he was supposed to be coming in last week as well for the podcast, and then that was it. We just got a phone call and say, look, you know, we're going to have to shut the business.
Really?
You know what I mean, that was it, out the blue. You know what I mean?
3 years running as well?
3 years running. It's
That's
just
mad.
But, you know, it's, you know, clearly he has quite a high cost business as well. Vans on the road and all that sort of stuff. I don't know.
The cost of diesel now as well, but it's probably costing a fortune.
I'm not sure of the whole reasons why. It could be personal reasons or whatever, but clearly, you know, clearly must have been enough support. But you know, I just feel bad for all these local businesses when that does happen to them, whether it's the Bottle Genius or whether it's another local business, because I know, you know yourself, how much time and effort and energy that you put into a business to build a business, to start a business. It's not just the money that it costs you, but it's the time and the energy and it's the passion that you have for your business. And when I hear about a local business that goes out of business, it's not just a business that's disappeared. That's another person's lives and dreams completely turned upside down.
That's it.
It's another person on the breadline. It's another person and potentially staff they might have had out of a job and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's that's why we really want to try and get people supporting local businesses, because it's not just, how many businesses have you, no businesses in general, but how many times have you went past a building where you remember a business that you might have used once many years ago, and then you think it's there, and you look and it's something else. You think, what happened to them? Where did they go? That's what happens so often.
Like the high street in
general.
general.
Little businesses just disappear in the blink of an eye, and nobody notices. You know what I mean? And that's somebody's life that's turned upside down. You know what I mean? So that's why we want people to support local businesses. Keep the money flowing in local businesses. Let local businesses like yourself supporting the local community, and together it all works hand in hand.
That's it.
Rather than supporting all these big companies where you're just basically
don't see it go anywhere.
No, that's it. It doesn't. You don't see any benefit then. You know what I mean? It's just putting in some I don't know, holiday home in some other part of the world or something like that.
Miami somewhere.
That's it. You know what I mean? Well, it might be nice to be that guy, but it doesn't help us. It doesn't help the community. It doesn't help the area or anything like that.
It's crazy the fact that you said there was over 2,000 as well. Just even try to touch on that in my head is beyond me. But that's a lot of kind of places to go.
It is, and it's a lot of people with a lot of voices trying to get heard.
Yeah.
And most of them you didn't know, and that just goes to show, when you think about the marketing efforts that all these businesses are putting out there to try and get heard and try and get noticed. You've got your platforms like Facebook and Twitter and all these places, you local media outlets and things like that, and yet you still didn't hear them. Yeah. And that's because their voices are so quiet on these platforms. They're just like a little tiny minnow in a big massive ocean. By being on obviously what we're just trying to make the fish seem a bit bigger, or we're trying to make the pond a bit smaller. one or the other.
Both perfectly fine.
But that's it. There's a lot of businesses that nobody's ever heard of. We see businesses on the platform ourselves, and I'm thinking, I didn't even know that existed. You know what I mean? I didn't even know we had a business like that here. And it happens various times. You know what I mean? And it's just. Have a look. Have a look through the platform. You'll see all the different businesses. I think at the minute we've got 1,400 businesses on the platform, but in terms of in the immediate local area, KY11 and KY12, so right in Dunfermline, there's about 400 businesses on our platform. So we've only got about, maybe 20%, well, not even that, maybe 15%, something like that, the businesses in Dunfermline on the platform so far. So, obviously more and more are joining on a regular basis, but that's a start for us, really.
Quite right.
But it's still 400 businesses. That's a lot of businesses in Dunfermline.
Again, I don't even think there was as much as a couple of hundred, so 400 seems loads.
And it's only a fraction of them, and there's still loads more to get on there.
At least there's with this, at least there is a platform that if they were unaware of it, something they can chuck on and can get themselves put out there for relatively less as well.
See, this is the thing, is not only that, is you think about trying to compete online. You think about Google, for example. You try and get yourself found online for being a hairdresser in Dunfermline on Google. It's like, it's going to cost you thousands of pounds. It's going to take months and months and months of work. It's somebody that you're going to have to also spend a lot of money on getting you ranked in Google. We worked hard when we first started, and in terms of what offers, we're ranked on the first page of Google now. So when people are looking for local offers and things like that, we're up there on the first page.
Well, that's handy as well.
What we're now doing is we're working on our SEO, so that what happens is when somebody Googles that they're looking for something in the local area, if they're on Google, for example, we'll come up first. So if somebody was looking for a hairdresser, it might come up with a link to R&B Hair and Beauty on our platform. So that obviously helps both.
Platform within a platform.
Well, that's it. We're not just a platform to people to find you. We're also working hard to get you found on Facebook, get you found on Google, get you found on podcast, all these different avenues. So we're just doing all that work collectively for a group of people, rather than if you were doing it just for one business individual, it would take so long and cost so much. You know what I mean? But doing it as a group, you can have a bit more impact and effect.
It seems fairer as well. I mean, if you're doing it for one person, that's kind of just like you may as well work for the company. Though with this, it's like the whole of Dunfermline. You know what I mean? It's actively giving a place where multiple people can be seen and heard on one platform, rather than just be like, I'll look after myself. You know what I mean? Where,
That's
almost counterproductive for the whole community side of things. Whole about community is multiple people being brought together and spending money within their own place. So.
Well, that's it. That's the aim of the game anyway. Spending money locally.
Easier said than done to get everybody turned over the way.
But I mean, obviously, if people can't support local business, like we always say, if you can't support them and you can't financially, you're not able to buy something off a local business. But if you like a local business, tell other people about them. Leave a review online about them. Share the stuff. The stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You didn't have to spend money on a local business to help and support a local business.
Even just one share, like if that each person say again on Facebook, one person may have, I don't know, let's say upwards of 1,000 odd people, if not more. So there's like an extra 1,000 people that you might not have that can then potentially see it. Not a lot of them will, but I mean,
we're not saying spam all your friends on Facebook, but
the only thing you can see, because you end up getting, end up being counterproductive, isn't it? But I'm sick of what they saying that.
For time to time, though, there are loads of ways that you can support local businesses. It doesn't mean that you always have to buy. You know what I mean? But if you can buy, even better. Because we love money.
Well, I mean, it helps.
It's what pays the bills.
That is it. It definitely pays the bills. But it is, like you said as well, it is also good to try and touch back too. So, like, I mean, anything that I've had, I've either reinvested in the salon or tried to do some sort of local kind of charity work as well. Not just kind of keep it all myself under a mattress like Scrooge McDuck. You know?
Well, we like to support as well, but you know, we obviously you need
to fund yourself.
You need to keep the lights on and stuff like that. So you know, that's where obviously any business needs that support. You know what I mean? 100%. So, well, listen, thank you very much for coming in and see us there, Rhys.
No worries,
we do appreciate it. We wish you all the best with R&B Hair and Beauty, and hopefully a speedy recovery or a speedy return on your head stylist.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
So thank you very much for Rhys coming in to join us. As you would have heard on the podcast with Rhys, R&B Hair and Beauty are currently looking to recruit some new staff. So if you're interested in working for R&B Hair and Beauty or would like to know more about them, you can find more information about R&B Hair and Beauty on their platform, or additional to that, we'll also put in links in the description where you can find their job listing. If you would like to work for R&B Hair and Beauty, then you can find out more and apply directly to them. So thank you very much to Rhys for coming in today, and thank you very much to you for watching. My name's Liam Stone, and thank you for watching the What Podcast. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. Remember, whatever you need, head over to whatoffers.co.uk or what.live to see more of our podcasts, and join us again to see what's up next.